This is the Dacia Sandero Stepway. It's not the most luxurious or the most powerful car out there, but Dacia do claim that it is the best value for money. Now, what would your money buy you? The Stepway is based on its younger sibling, the Sandero. It wants to be an SUV, doesn't quite make the grade. It's a little bit taller, it's a little bit longer, and the ride's a bit higher off the ground. It does come with a little more equipment as standard, but nothing to really boast about. So why is it so popular? Now, Dacia have sold nearly 2 million of these, so they must be doing something right. I think we need to take a look and see. Dacia are improving the styling slowly but surely. They do lag behind some of the other manufacturers a little bit, but having said that, it's not offensive, it's not horrible to look at. I actually quite like the front of this. I do quite like it. I think it looks pretty cool. There's something about that reminds me of the Dodgems at the fairground. I'm not sure why. Remember, one way round, no bumping. So yeah, the front of this I quite like. That is kind of where it ends for me though. If we head round the side, and things get a little more basic. Door handles are a little bit plasticky, they don't really match the car. However, they do open the doors. What more do you want from a door handle, I suppose? We've got the black plastic around the wheel arches and under the car. A bit easier to keep clean, I suppose. It'll protect the paintwork a little bit from mud splashes up. I'm not a massive fan of the Stepway stickers. I'd probably take those off myself, but that's up to you. On this particular model, we haven't got body coloured wing mirrors. They are slightly different, but again, they don't look horrible. It's not offensive to look at, really. One nice feature though, we've got roof rails. I quite like that. I'm quite impressed by that. It means I can get my bikes on, get the kids' bikes on top if I need to, save myself some room in the back. Speaking of the back, let's take a look round here. Just like the rest of the car, it's not the most offensive looking car in the world. I have seen much worse looking rear ends than this. We've got body coloured bumpers, which is actually pretty good, and the boot is a decent size. However, on this particular model, you do need the key to open it. Now, on the newer models and the higher specs, then it comes integrated with the central locking, so you don't need to do that. Boot-wise, it's actually a really, really good size. We do have a big lip here, however, so if you're putting something relatively heavy in there, you will need to lift it to take it out of the boot, so be careful of your back. This particular model has a spare wheel. It is, however, an added extra. And if you go for the LPG engine, that's where the LPG tank goes, so you lose the option of that spare wheel. But overall, that's not a bad size boot, to be fair. Moving around the side, let's look at the wheels. Another area that Dacia is saving money in terms of styling is we don't have alloy wheels. We've got steel wheels with the plastic trims. However, they don't look too bad, to be fair. Let's take a look inside. And inside, things are still pretty basic in this particular model. It's all very plasticky, and I mean, it's not loose, nothing's loose or anything like that, but it is quite, it's got an inexpensive feel about it. Climate control is separate from the main screen, but that's because this car doesn't have a main screen. Now, higher spec models should I say, do have screens with sat-nav, so there is that option, and they're still pretty cost effective. This particular model has a USB connection, and you've actually got a phone mount here as well, so I suppose technically you put your phone on, it's got Google Maps. This car then has sat-nav capability, which isn't a bad thing. Interesting feature here though, this is where Dacia are bang on par with BMW. That's right, BMW. The seat adjustment, pull the lever, woo, drop down, fantastic. Can I pump it back up again? Nope. Now, an athletic person like myself has no issues kangarooing and pulling the seat back up to the top. But if you're a little less agile, that could be quite difficult. So, well done, Dacia. You're just as good as BMW in that sense. Let's jump in the back. In the back, it's actually very roomy. I've got bucket loads of headroom. I'm not pressed up against the seats. I've got lots of room in here. In this particular base model, we do have manual rear windows, but there is an option for electric windows, and obviously higher spec models do come with those as standard. We do even have a proper seat belt for the middle seat, which is brilliant, rather than the lap belt. the seats are comfortable. I've got loads of room. I'd have no issues sat in the back here if somebody else was driving me around. So that's okay. The back seats do fold down as well. It's quite stiff is that button, but they do fold down. Let's grab the other down like so. There is a little bit of a lip on the seats there, but again, it does give you that option of a little more room if you've got larger items that you need to transport somewhere. So actually in the back, I'm quite impressed, and I'd say that's quite a nice back seat. Engines. Now, a quick look on the Dacia website, and they like to keep things simple. They currently give you 3 options. Although technically I suppose it's 2, because the TC90 petrol engine comes in a manual or an automatic. Now if you're looking for performance, I'd opt for the manual version, and you'll save yourself a whopping 2 seconds on your 0 to 60 time. It will, however, still take you 12 seconds to get there because it's only got a 90 brake horsepower engine. There are some older models out there with a 1.5 litre diesel engine, but Dacia currently don't offer that on the newer vehicles. If you'd like to gain an extra 9 or 10 brake horsepower though, you could opt for the TCE 100, which is a bi-fuel option. Now the bi-fuel it has a petrol tank where the petrol tank goes. It also has an LPG tank in the back where the spare wheel goes, so you do lose the spare wheel option. However, this engine has the potential to be the longest range car on the market. Now I say potential because those aren't my words. In the real world, who knows? If you've got a bi-fuel option, why not drop us a comment below and let us know how you're getting on economy-wise, and we can start a discussion on that. So who is this car aimed at? In my opinion, it's most likely aimed at the more mature driver. Somebody who doesn't want all the frills, doesn't want the technology and buttons and levers and twiddly bits. They just want to get from A to B in relative comfort and not spend a fortune on fuel. In which case this car fits that brief absolutely perfectly. Now I'm cruising along a dual carriageway at the minute. Slow down, there's no traffic. I'm doing 40. Let's put my foot down and see what it's like. It's responded. It's not revving too high. I'm up to 70 now. That was decent. That was decent. I've got to say, if you were to ask me beforehand how quick the acceleration would be in this from a 90 brake horsepower engine, then I would have laughed at you. But that was okay. I mean, it's not going to win any races, but it's not what this car's about. So, I mean, I've just head up the dual carriageway there, put my foot down, and it responded, it went, it moved. I was up to speed in no time. I didn't cause any issues for any other drivers on the road. It's not going to win any races, but it didn't feel like a 90 brake horsepower car that, you know. I'm actually relatively surprised. I've been looking for a second car as a little runaround. I probably wouldn't choose this, but if this was all I could afford, I don't think I'd really complain. Now, whilst I haven't got sat-nav in this particular car, I do have it on good authority from a colleague of mine that did. The sat-nav, whilst it's a little basic, it does everything it needs to do, and it does it pretty well. So you can't say fairer than that. This car really is just, it's everything it was built to be. It's everything it needs to be. It's great. If you take it for what it is a good car. Dacia claim this car to be the best value for money available, and I can't say that they'd be wrong. If you'd like to save a bit more money though, click on the link above, visit the website, give us a call, and we'll be glad to help you out. See you next time.